Our son is our everything, and that she was pregnant again, and we just lost two souls, basically, two souls. But we got family here, we're together, and we're just gonna do this together.
At the age of 23, Billy Bennett Adams III, a local rapper from Tampa, Florida, was attending the University of South Florida, pursuing a bachelor's degree in business and science. According to his father, Billy Adams Sr., Billy planned to enlist in the military after graduating. Adams, known as Ace and H in the rap world, loved music and wanted to explore the possibility of making his own, hoping to one day collaborate with his favorite rap idols. When Adams got his first opportunity to perform in 2017, he was hooked and has been in pursuit of becoming a successful rap artist ever since. Rapping about himself, gangster life, guns, and violence, Adams released a handful of singles, 3 albums, or LPs. Adams also worked at the Finish Line shoe store in the shops at Wiregrass in Wesley Chapel. In the days in between, he continued to write songs and frequented the now infamous Shed-turned-recording studio in Lutz, Florida. On the evening of November 19, 2020, Billy Bennett Adams III was scheduled to meet with Trayvon Albury and Daniel Thompson at a makeshift music studio owned by Joseph Meeks. This studio was situated at the back of Meeks' family's home on North 23rd Street in Lutz, Florida, about 15 miles north of Tampa. Adams, or Ace and H, was to record a song with the help of Albury and Thompson. As the day went on, tension seemed to be brewing between Adams and both Albury and Thompson. Moments after Adams tidied up one song, studio owner Meeks, witness, heard 2 gunshots being fired while his back was turned, and once he turned around, found Adams standing over 2 dead bodies with a gun.
On the computer, and I heard 2 gunshots, and I turned around, and he was standing there holding the gun.
Who was standing there holding the gun?
Adam was.
Another shot was fired by Adams, this time at close range. Then, as if he didn't just go on a shooting spree, Adams walked out of the studio. My ears were ringing, and then words came out of his mouth saying that they were going to rob me, or that this was a setup or something, Meeks continued. He also said he never suspected Adams was armed until he heard the gunshots. A commotion ensued, and witnesses contacted the police immediately, summoning them to the scene. Authorities from the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office arrived at the studio and quickly blocked off the scene. They tracked him down, and 2 days later, they found Adams and arrested him. Adams hastily defended himself to the investigators, claiming that he only acted in self-defense. He came to the studio that night to record some music, and after a time, he claims to have overheard Albury and Thompson talking between themselves about robbing the owner of the studio, as well as himself. Things escalated quickly, and the next thing he knew, he was already pulling out his gun and pointing it at both of them. They had angered him, and he retaliated by shooting at them to protect himself. Some witnesses said, however, that although 23-year-old Adams claimed to act in self-defense, they saw no such intention of theft from the victims when the incident happened. On the contrary, they were actually quarreling over money and firearms. This altercation was also suspected to be a gang-related shooting, as Adams was allegedly linked to the Crips gang. This was a violent execution the suspect performed, and although the attack was clearly targeted, we will not allow gang-related disputes to disrupt the comfort and safety of innocent residents in any of our communities, said Sheriff Chad Chronister. Our deputies responded to the scene in less than 5 minutes the night of the murders, and due to their diligent work around the clock to solve this case, detectives arrested the suspect responsible in less than 48 hours. It is clear that the suspect had no regard for human life, and now he will face the consequences for his actions. After days of questioning, officials arrested and charged Adams with 2 counts of premeditated first-degree murder with a firearm and 1 count of armed burglary of a structure. He was to await his hearing while behind bars. Meanwhile, the Hillsborough State Attorney's Office has stood firm about Adams being a danger to the community and that he should be held without bail. Hillsborough Judge Catherine Catlin agrees that the evidence strongly pointed to Adams shooting the victim due to a dispute. However, on the day of Adams' hearing in December 2020, Judge Catlin said that she doesn't believe him to be a danger to the community. She then granted him a $500,000 bond with conditions that included Adams being on house arrest with an ankle monitor, and that he should not have any contact with any witnesses involved in the case. Fast forward to 2023, it seemed that luck was on Adams' side. After deliberating for 4 hours, the jury of 6 men and 6 women decided to acquit him of the double murder. Hillsborough Circuit Judge Christopher Sabella said, "The jury did find that you are not criminally responsible for that, but I certainly hope that you find yourself in the future never in a situation that may involve anything like this." He even added, "I don't ever want to see you back in this courthouse," and requested he stay out of trouble. Adams and his family wasted no time celebrating his release and quickly threw a party. He also included in the celebrations his recent album release entitled Underground Icon, of which the cover disturbingly had an image of a news story headline talking about his previous murder case. But unfortunately, the festivities didn't last long. Just days later, Adams got caught up once again in a sticky situation. Another shooting incident, but this time resulting in the murder of his pregnant girlfriend, Alana Sims. On a cold night on January 30th, 2023, a local passerby was going around the 10700 block of Pictorial Park Drive in Easton Park, Tampa, Florida, at around 10 p.m. for a late-night drive, when suddenly he spotted a body sprawled on the ground, surrounded by a pool of blood next to a Ford EcoSport SUV. He quickly jumped out of his vehicle and approached the body, where he found, to his horror, a pregnant Alana Sims not breathing, unconscious, and bleeding from a bullet wound to the head. When he peered inside the SUV, he found a sleeping and unharmed 18-month-old toddler in a car seat. The witness frantically called the authorities. Tampa police quickly went to investigate the scene and blocked the area off. Major Mike Stout headed the operation and immediately got to work. Heartbreakingly, the victim's family, including her mother, Shalevi Sims, identified that the body was indeed that of 22-year-old Alana Sims. With the help of witnesses and CCTV footage, the investigators were able to deduce that Sims was about to go to a party that night in honor of her boyfriend, whom people knew as Ace. This was of course referring to Adams, and the party being celebrated was for his acquittal. Major Stout said that Sims considered Adams to be her boyfriend, and a handful of people who knew them even believed that Adams was the father of the child she was carrying, though that is still not confirmed. Police went to Adams's house, which was about 7 miles from the crime scene, and took him in for questioning. Adams fiercely denied having spoken to Sims in the last few months. In fact, according to him, he hadn't seen or messaged her in several months and definitely did not believe that he was the father of her unborn child. Adams was apparently even shocked to hear that she was dead, since he had been in his home all evening and did not leave his house during the time that the murder occurred. On the contrary, CCTV footage acquired by the police showed a different story. It showed a black Chevrolet Malibu entering the Easton Park subdivision, where the killing occurred around 7:22 p.m. on January 30th. Its license plate was identified to be Billy Adams Sr.'s. About 30 minutes later, at 7:36 p.m., Sims's vehicle also entered the subdivision. At about 8:21 p.m., Adams's vehicle was found leaving the area, while Sims had not. Another set of footage was obtained from Adams's neighborhood, showing the same Chevrolet Malibu leaving at 7:10 p.m. and coming back to his residence at 8:32 p.m. When police seized his vehicle, they were able to find 2 live 9mm bullets. Police were also able to secure a warrant to search Adams's phone. One of the significant things they found was that Adams did a map search at around 6:43 p.m. for the Easton Park subdivision. They also found him exchanging messages with another person on January 29th, stating how upset he was over Sims's pregnancy, and that he wanted to live his life and that Sims wouldn't be included in it. Tampa authorities are also looking at the motive possibly being that Adams didn't have any plans of becoming a father and that he wanted to pursue his dreams in life now that he was given a second chance. Otherwise, they are also looking at a possible third party involved with Adams and an unnamed woman he was texting, since one of her messages said, "I'm just so sad because I thought we were going to have a real relationship at this point, and now she's pregnant and still here." To which Adams replied, "You're not talking me out of it. Tomorrow, done." Police speculate that Sims may have been getting in the way of his freedom to date the unnamed woman, so he chose to kill Sims instead. In another set of messages, dated February 1st, Adams told a friend that police would be talking to him soon. "Remember 7 to 8:20, tell him I pulled up on you." Police laid out the clear as day pieces of evidence in front of Adams, which forced him to tell a different story. He then said that yes, he actually did go out that night, but it was for an evening with friends. Just days after being acquitted of double murder, Billy Bennett Adams III, now 25, was back behind bars after shooting and killing his pregnant girlfriend, Alana Sims, 22, while her other child was still sleeping in a car seat inside her car, thankfully unharmed. He was charged with first-degree murder and will also face a charge of killing an unborn child by injury to the mother. During his arrest, Adams changed his story once again, and this time admitted that he did meet Sims at Easton Park and that she was there with her toddler. He said that she pulled a gun on him, which he then tried to wrestle from her grasp. He quickly overpowered her, got the gun, and, in another attempt at self-defense, he shot her dead. When further questioned, Adams said that he did actually know that Sims was pregnant and acknowledged that he could be the father of her unborn child. State Attorney Susan S. Lopez commented on Adams' arrest, saying, "What this defendant did is unimaginable. Our thoughts and support are with the family members of these crime victims." She continued, "While we respect the verdict of the jury in the prior case, we disagreed with it, and that is why we prosecuted him. We will continue to work with TPD to prosecute him for these latest crimes." The second time he returned to the Tampa courthouse, the jury no longer believed his plea of self-defense. Mere days after he was acquitted of a separate crime, our homicide suspect did the unthinkable when he killed an innocent woman and her unborn child, said Interim Chief Lee Burkaw. "I hope this arrest brings some closure to the victim's family, who is mourning the loss of 2 loved ones. We are working with the state attorney's office to ensure the suspect is prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law." The victim, Alana Sims, who was just a few weeks shy of her 23rd birthday, was described to be a kind soul and a warm-hearted member of the family. They still celebrated her birthday by wearing pink, which was her favorite color. She sadly leaves behind her now 20-month-old son in the care of her immediate family. Her friends, family, and loved ones continue to seek justice for Alana and hope for the right and just punishment to fall upon Adams at the quickest time possible. It looks as though Billy Adams won't be getting his second stroke of luck of being acquitted anytime soon. It's quite impossible to believe this second attempt at a self-defense script, since this time it is against a 5-month pregnant woman believed to be his girlfriend. Adams's camp, headed by his lawyer, Jamie Kane, was denied a request for bond, so instead opted to request the judge for a gag order. Attorney Kane states that this was to prevent the media from putting into the public spotlight the important details about the case. The judge denied the request, arguing that a gag order would violate Florida Statute 119 regarding freedom of the press. Adams's camp will definitely have their hands full, and things aren't going to sail as smoothly as in his prior case.